Hi Copic friends, Michelle Houghton here. I have a unique Copic playtime here for you today. I have a Traveler's Notebook cover. I found this one, it's by Doodling, kind of part of the Ranger family, and then I'm using golden soft gel medium and I coated that because it's a fabric cover. And then I'm going to use my Copic Various ink. So those are those refill bottles for my Copics, and I'm going to start dripping it on, and then I'm using a heat gun to kind of blow that around. You could also use a hairdryer. So the colors I've got are V000, V05, B32, and I've also got a B79. So notice I've got a couple different color families. I've got a pretty extreme contrast. I've got a couple really light and I've got a couple that are darker and more vivid. That's very purposeful when I do this type of dripping with my ink because I want to have that variation. Those lighter inks will push things around. You're also going to see as I start, up in this right corner, the ink doesn't move around a whole lot. It kind of settles and then just sits. I think what happened, and really honestly what you're going to see me is just making a mess and having fun with the ink. But what happened in that upper right corner is I don't think I got that gel medium coating that fabric surface enough. So what you'll notice in that right, see where I'm dripping right in that upper right corner, it kind of it spreads, but then it stops. It doesn't get pushed or blown. And I think that's because it's absorbing in the fabric kind of right away, and you don't get that effect of that moving on top of the surface. I started with my lightest color, that V000, and I kind of scattered it throughout, and then I added some of that V05. The next thing I did is I actually jumped to that darkest color, that B79, and now I went back to that B32. That B32 really added that bright blue color. And now I've gone all the way back down to that V000. And what I'm doing is I'm putting it on top of that darkest color, and it's moving it further because the alcohol in that V000 is reactivating that darker color and allowing those edges to push out in that beautiful light color. And it also does it on top of that V05. So now I'm having fun kind of pushing with that. The next thing is I go ahead and cap those up, and I thought, well, maybe I can move this even a little bit more. I grab my colorless blender solution and I do the same thing. It moves it a little bit, but actually not as effectively. Like, I'm pushing it out. I liked what the V000 did even better. So I kind of leave it there. I feel like I've got enough color on the cover. I like the way it's looking. And I just take the heat gun to it a little bit more. This is my impatience. I want it to dry because there's some other things I want to do to the cover. So I have one of these I Love Copic stickers, and I'm going to stick that on the cover. And when I come back at the end, I'm going to cover everything in that matte gel medium again. And that'll kind of glue that in place more permanently. And then I've got some opaque Sharpie markers. These are their poster paint ones or water-based ones. So they really work well. Now, I'm sad to say these are being discontinued. So if you have any, or if you have been able to find any, I would grab them while you can. This is one of my favorite opaque white pens to use on top of Copic. There are others out there that I love a lot, but this is one I still have a bunch because I basically bought stock in it when they were available, and I have tons of them. So I will use them until they die. So I am just doing kind of some repetitive doodling patterns around. I'm not going to fill the whole thing, and I know you don't want to watch me doing that, but I've created a heart around the sticker. I've created some scallops around the heart. To me, the repetitive doodling is really about repeating shapes over and over. So when I do a scallop around the outside of the heart, I do 2 scallops, kind of a double loop. The little spirals, or like that spiral shape inside the heart, gets repeated again over and over. Then I kind of decide, do I need, and the heart even itself has a double line outline. Around the scallops, I have dots that run all the way around. So again, it's this multiplying those lines. So you have that. Again, you're going to see in that right upper corner, see how that ink is absorbing into the fabric versus sitting on top in that opaque white. I really feel like this was my mistake at the very beginning when I tried to paint that matte gel medium on the fabric surface to kind of lock it in and allow things to sit on top of it. I don't think I hit that right corner thick enough. And so I'm having trouble not only with my Copic inks doing what I want them to, but also my little Sharpie markers here. So it's absorbing into the fabric more than I want, not sitting on top of that matte gel medium. So again, I'm just playing with these. I've got a little bit of outline going, and I'm really just focusing around that sticker. I'm not going to try to go through the whole thing because I love the inky effects that I have from the Copic. So I'm going to leave that and just add these fun little details. The last thing I do, there's only a couple little lines left to kind of add on this piece here. The last thing I will do is I will actually go back and cover the entire thing again in that matte gel medium. It dries completely clear, and it works also as an adhesive. So especially with that little sticker, it's really going to glue that in place. I did go back a second time, and you'll see this when you see the photos at the end. And I went over my doodling again because I'd hit it that second round with a matte gel medium. Now it was sitting on top. It's bolder and brighter, and I was really pleased with that. And I pulled a little bit of color on top of the sticker to kind of blend it in and make it look like it's a little more part of the piece. I really appreciate you stopping by today just to watch me play with Copic ink and some of the things you can do with Copic ink. Again, thank you, Golden, for your wonderful products, and thank you, Ranger, for this fun blank canvas to work on. Thanks for joining me this week. Hop over to scrapweaver.com to see all my live teachings and doings. I hope you all have a happy, colorful week.